Hello students and welcome back to the class. We are doing the chapter light, that is reflection and refraction. In the previous class we understood the rules for the image formation by the spherical mirror, and now we are going to start with the image formation by the concave mirror and convex mirror. Means with the help of the diagram we'll understand what are the different possibilities of the images formed by the concave mirror and convex mirror. So let's start the class now. So very first we'll start with the image formation by concave mirror. So what we are going to study, that is, in front of the concave mirror at different position, if we place the object, then what kind of image will be formed by the concave mirror in different situations. And that we'll understand with the help of the ray diagram. And we understood the meaning of ray diagram, that is, for the object we are going to find out the image position with the help of the ray of light coming from the object, falling on the mirror and getting reflected back, and all things will be done with the help of the rules that we understood in the previous class. So I hope you'll be able to find interest in the class, plus you'll be able to understand as well. So what is to be done? Very first we'll take the different cases, that is, let the object be placed at this position in front of the concave mirror, then we'll complete the diagram. We'll see the different characteristics of the image in that particular situation. So very first let's see like an object placed beyond C in front of the mirror. So C, we know that is center of curvature and in front of the concave mirror. So beyond C an object has been placed, then where the image will be formed, that we are going to study now. So very first what is to be done, we need to make the concave mirror, and now onwards you must take care of the diagram, because all the ray diagrams that will be done should be done in a proper way, that is, neat and clean work should be there. After this we have to draw the principal axis, and this is nothing but your P pole. So extend it further, and now at equal distance we have to point the focus and the center of curvature. So again the distance is up to you, that is how much you have in a notebook. So here I am taking the distance of 3 inch. Okay, so let me do it properly. So 3 inch I am taking. So this is my C, this is my F. So always remember your PF and CF should be equal. That is your choice. You take it 2 centimeter each, 1 centimeter each, 5 centimeter each, but you should have enough space in your notebook also. Okay, so 2 to 3 centimeter, I think that will be enough in a notebook. Now according to the question, an object has been placed in front of the concave mirror, but it is beyond C. So anywhere beyond C I have to place the object. So this is my object A and B. Okay, so beyond C, that is just after C somewhere, but after C it should not be at infinity, because for infinity we'll take some different case, but here it is just beyond C. So somewhere in front of the mirror after C you have to place it anywhere. Now what is to be done, we'll very first try to find the image formed by this mirror, concave mirror, for the point A. So A and B are nothing but the two different points of the object, that is, A is the topmost point, B is the bottommost point. And in general, in the ray diagrams we are going to do for the concave and convex mirror, says the object is already placed on the principal axis. So this principal axis is the reference for us, so we are not going to apply any rule for point B. So For B we are not going to apply any rule, so let it be there as it is. Only we have to find out where the image of A will be formed, and then we'll see what is to be done. So we have to concentrate on the topmost point. Okay, so we know one thing, that is if we have to find out where the image will be formed for this point A, we have to apply any 2 or 3 rules that we understood in the previous class, such that any 2 rays of light coming from object from point A, it will fall on the mirror, and then it will reflect according to the rules we understood in the previous class. So we'll just apply the rule, nothing else, and we'll see wherever the 2 different rays coming from A, after reflection from the mirror will intersect or meet, we'll see that will be the position where the image of point A will be formed. So point A will have light, means it will reflect the light in all direction. So in all direction the light is possible, so we have to take any one direction. So what we can do, very first we can take one ray of light parallel to the principal axis. This is our first ray which we have taken from our side, that is the point A is emitting the light, that is reflecting the light, such that it is falling on the mirror, and that ray of light is going parallel to the principal axis. So you have to be very sure that the rays should be parallel. So on the board I may not do that much, but in a notebook you must take care the ray of light should be parallel. Okay, for that what is to be done, you can measure the length of this object, same length you measure other side, and then connect the 2 top points, automatically the line will become parallel to the principal axis. Okay, one more thing is, whenever we are drawing the ray diagram, the ray has the meaning only if you show the arrow. So if you don't show the arrow mark, then there is no meaning of ray diagram, that is incomplete ray diagram. Okay, so always take care the arrow has to be shown. So we know if the ray of light coming parallel to the principal axis, what will happen to this ray? It will go, it will pass through the focus. So we'll just apply the rule, nothing else. So okay, this is my first ray which is reflected from the mirror, passing through F according to the rule, parallel to principal axis, after reflection passing through the focus for a concave mirror. Now we can apply any other rule. Okay, second rule, we know that if a ray of light passing through F, what will happen to this? So we always try that the rule which is helping us maximum, we can apply that rule. So if this ray is passing through F, what will happen? It will reflect from the mirror such that it will come out parallel to the principal axis. So this ray will come parallel to the principal axis. Again you have to take care, rays should be parallel. I may not be that much perfect on the board. Now what you see, these 2 rays are meeting at a particular point here. So this is the point, nothing but the position where the image of point A is formed. So we can say this is nothing but image of A, which is A prime, and for B nothing to be done since A has been shifted down. So we just need to connect the principal axis and the line. Okay, so whatever you are getting here, this is nothing but your A prime and B prime, which is the image of object AB. So I hope you understood what I have done here. I am repeating again. Sorry, this is A prime, B prime. We have an object AB placed on the principal axis. All the time we have to place the object on the principal axis, above the principal axis. Okay. Now we have to apply any 2 rules for the ray diagram, and we'll see wherever the 2 different rays of light will meet or try to meet, that will be the point where the image will be formed. So what we have taken, point A is reflecting the light, and it will reflect the light in all the directions. So we have to take any 2 rays of light. So I have taken one ray of light parallel, and we know according to the rule, if the ray is parallel, it will pass through the focus. So we can say this is your X, the very first ray of light that is reflected from the mirror, which is coming from point A only. And second rule we apply, if a ray of light is passing through focus only, it will become parallel after the reflection from the concave mirror. So this is another ray Y, So X and Y, two different rays of light are basically coming from mirror, which is coming from A only. Okay, and since the two different rays are meeting at point somewhere A prime, so we can say A prime is the image of A, and we just need to correct from the principal axis. Then what we are getting here, that is nothing but the position for B also. We can say now A prime B prime is the image, A B is the object. Based on the diagram we can talk about the characteristics also. So if we talk about the characteristics or nature of image based on the diagram, so very first we understood the rays of light are basically meeting at a point in front of the mirror. So in that case what we get, a real image. So if you place the screen here in front of the mirror, you will be able to see the image AB, A prime B prime on the screen. So you understood the image is real. So that is the first thing we got, image is real in this case. Second thing is, you see A is this way, so the object is this way, but the image is going down, that is inverted, and that is the property of the real image. All the time when you getting a real image, you'll see the image will get inverted also. So here the image is inverted, that is understood. Now even if you see the size of the object and size of the image, very understood. Approximately also if you see, you can see there is a difference of approx 1 inch. So we can say here in this case the image is smaller as compared to the size of object. So in this case image will be smaller. So that is another property we got here. So image is smaller than object. Okay, and what else can be written here? That is, where is image formed? So you can see the image is basically forming between C and F. So object was placed beyond C, but image is forming between F and C. That is the position we can also talk about. So formed between C and F. So I hope we understood the main characteristics of the image based on the diagram. Image is real, we understood why. Image is inverted, we understood from the diagram. Image is smaller than the object, that is also visible here, and image is forming between C and F. So these are the main characteristics of the image that we understand with the help of this diagram. So I hope you understood this much, and now we'll go for the second case. So we got, if an object is placed beyond C, what kind of image will be formed by the concave mirror. So that is understood now. Okay, so that you have to remember. So let's take another case, case 2. Okay, so let's take another case, that is case number 2. Object between let's see C and F. Okay, now we are going to place the object between center of curvature and focus of the concave mirror, and it has to be placed in front only. So we are not writing here in front of the mirror, because if you place something behind the mirror, it is understood, it cannot form the image. So that is to be understood here. So let's see now. Again, concave mirror in a proper way, and draw the principal axis, a straight line without any overwriting P. Okay, and let's again take same distance, equal gap. This is very important to take equal gap, otherwise your characteristics will not be correct sometime. Take care. This is your F, this is your C, and now according to the question, object has to be placed between C and F. So C and F is this, anywhere in front, in between this you can place anywhere. So this is my A and B. So again AB is the object. Okay, it will have some height also, we can say height H, O. So HO is the height of the object. I'm not writing here. Now let's apply the rule again. Again we'll do for point A, not for B. B will be always on the principal axis, so we just need to connect the image of A to principal axis vertical. Wherever it will come, that will be the entire image. Okay. So again, very first we always try to apply the first rule somewhere. This one, that is parallel. So be careful, your line should be straight. I may not be getting accurately on the board because it's difficult to handle the scale and marker, which is because both are slippery. Okay, so we got the first ray, let it be X, the ray coming from A, reflected from the concave mirror passing through F because the ray was parallel to the principal axis. Now we'll take another ray of light, that is to be passed through B. Okay, pass through F. Okay, and now we have to make it parallel. So very far extend this line because it may cross. Okay, so what is to be done? Make this ray parallel to the principal axis. So this is my ray X, this is my ray Y, that is both are coming from A. So you understood, this is the point where they intersect or they meet. So we can say this is the point where the image of A will be formed. So this is A prime, image of A. Okay, because this is coming from A, and we need to connect it with the principal axis, nothing else. So this is your B prime. So we got the image ray diagram now. So here your A prime, B prime, image of AB. So based on the diagram, again we can write down the characteristics of image. So again you see the image is real because it is forming in front of the mirror and the rays are basically converging at point A prime. So image is real, no doubt. Again you see the inverted image is there, A is upward and here A is downward. So inverted, that will come all the time. If the image is real, it will be inverted all the time, that you'll see. Okay, now what else you see? If you see the size of the object and image now, this is your object and this is your image. So you understood, you can compare also somewhere. That is, the image is somewhere here and object is almost 1 inch less. So we can say here image is becoming bigger than the object. So image, we can say it is magnified image. So if the image is bigger than the object, we say it is magnified image bigger than the object. So image is magnified, real, inverted, magnified, and where it is forming, now it is forming beyond C. So it is just the opposite case of the previous one. In the previous one, we placed the object beyond C, image was between C and F, and image was smaller. Now in this case, just opposite. So when we place the object between C and F, image is shifted here, that is beyond C, and image is bigger. So we can say formed. So formed beyond C. So I hope you understood how to do the ray diagram for the concave mirror. I'll do one more case and then rest 2 or 3 cases you can try yourself. Okay, so let's go for case number 3. And once you understand the rules, so it's very interesting to draw the ray diagrams for the mirror and the lenses. So let the object is between P and F, that is between pole and focus. So let's again do the same thing. Since I am doing this diagram for many years, so I know what kind of image will be formed, but you should not try to learn. all the time if you can draw the diagram yourself and then if you find out the characteristics of the image, that is better option as compared to learning, because now you're just doing concave mirror, then you'll have convex mirror, then we have two different lenses also. So you'll have almost 20 kind of possibilities, 20 cases combining the mirror and lens. Then it will be a difficult task for you to learn it, to remember it. Simple. So always try to do it. So this is 3 and this. So again this is your C and F, and according to the condition the object has to be placed somewhere here. Okay, so one thing you have to remember, that is all the time the object has to be placed above the principal axis, and that should be upright. Okay, and then we will apply the cases. So let's understand this. We'll do the same thing, array of light parallel. So you know what will happen to this, it has to pass through focus. So don't think like if the object is in front of the mirror, then how the light will cross. So we are not able to show the 3D picture, but it is possible that the light will pass through the focus also. Okay, so this is your first ray of light, let it be X. X and Y I am giving the name so that you can find out the two different rays of light, but it's not so required. Okay, so first ray we got, second ray, for the second one we can apply any rule. The best rule we can get it is if the ray of light is passing through C. So now here we can apply the second last rule, if you remember, that is a ray of light passing through C. So we know if the ray of light will pass through C, it has to reflect back according to the rule we understood in the previous class. So any ray of light passing through C will be reflected back. So this is your A and B object again. So AB is your object, and let's see where is the image. Now what you see here, this is your Y. So X and Y are two different rays of light coming from same point O, but here what you see, this side in front of the mirror, the rays of light are basically diverging from each other. So you can see they are moving apart. So it is understood, if you extend the line forward anywhere, I'm making a rough diagram, okay. So if you extend it forward, even if you go for infinite length, you know these two rays can never intersect, or they cannot meet because they are moving apart from each other. So in this case, what is the possibility? That is, it seems that this ray of light, that is Y, this ray of light Y is somewhere coming from behind the mirror. This is one of the special case of the concave mirror. Okay, so if you see in front of the mirror they cannot meet, they start diverging, then we have to think the other side, that is we have to go behind the mirror. But behind the mirror we know it has to be dotted, because we know in general the ray of light cannot pass the mirror. Okay, so we have extended Y backward, but a straight line. Okay, so here it should not bend, so same line should move backward, so that this is should be a single line, and same thing has to be done for X also. So if you do for X, what you see, somewhere X and Y seem to meet at some point behind the mirror. Okay, so we can say this is the point which is nothing but the two different rays of light X and Y seem to meet, and these rays are nothing but the part of point A. So we can say here A prime is nothing but the image of point A. Okay, so again to find the complete image, what is to be done? Join this line straight away. All the time our reference is the principal axis. Sorry for this, because behind the mirror everything has to be dotted. So take care, behind the mirror everything should be dotted. So this is nothing but your B prime. So Overall, by completing the ray diagram, after completing the ray diagram, we understood that the rays of light in front of the mirror, they are diverging. So in front of the mirror, they cannot meet. So once they cannot meet in front of the mirror, it is understood the real image is not possible. Okay. So what is to be done? We need to extend the line backward, and let's see wherever they seem to meet. So what we get, they seem to meet, that is x and y at some point, this, which is given the name A prime. So A prime is the image of A, B prime is the image of B. So we can say here we got the image A prime, B prime, which is nothing but image of AB. And now based on the diagram, we can write all the characteristics also. So characteristics of image, in this case, very first we understood the image is not a real image, because now this image has been formed behind the mirror, so it has to be virtual image. Okay, so the image is virtual. So we know the rays of light actually they cannot pass, and since the rays cannot pass, so A point, B point, it is just a imaginary line, and if it is imaginary, then it has to be virtual. So first thing we got, image is virtual. Second, now you see if the image is virtual, now it is coming upright also. Upright means erect. So the object is this way, image is also this way. Now it's not getting inverted. That is another thing you have to remember all the time. When the image is virtual, it will be upright also. That is straight. So image is upright, or we also write erect. Both are same. Now if you compare the size of the image and object, again you can see your object is approx this much, and image you can see somewhere here. So image is again bigger, that you can directly see also. So image is magnified, and it is formed behind the mirror. So formed behind the mirror. So this is one of the special case we have. That is the only case in which the concave mirror can also form a virtual image. So if an object is placed between pole and focus of a concave mirror, in that case the image become virtual, and that is always magnified. Somewhere it is highly magnified, and that is what we have to remember also. Okay, so all things we can understand with the help of. So in this case, if you place a screen in front of the concave mirror, anywhere you will not be able to see the image in front of the mirror on a screen, because the image is shifted behind the mirror. So this is one of the most special case we have. That is the only condition where the concave mirror can also form the virtual image. Okay. So I'll do one more. That is the third, fourth case. And rest two you will be taking as a homework. That is object at infinity. So this case we have already done somewhere, and we have done the diagram also. So once I do the diagram, you will understand what we are talking about. So again same thing, ray of light, sorry, principal axis, this is your pole, and same gap you have to take your C and F. So this is F, this is C. Okay. So one thing we know, that is we should know if the object is placed at infinity, that is the symbol we have. So we suppose that when the rays of light will come from the infinity from any object, these two or many rays of light will come parallel to the principal axis. So that is one thing we have to remember, that is rays of light coming from the object which is at infinite distance, they will always come parallel to the principal axis, nothing else. So we are not going to show the object here because the object is at infinity, so we cannot show the object. So what we can show, we can just show two different rays of light coming parallel to the principal axis from where? From infinity. So what will happen to this ray? We know this ray will pass from focus. For the image we need one more ray of light, so we can say another ray of light that is also coming from nothing but the same object. Sorry. So be careful, you should not do any overwriting anywhere, otherwise. Okay, so this also should pass through the same focus, and that is how we also define the focus, if you remember. So overall, this is x and y. So this is coming from infinity. Okay, so these two rays of light from the object which is at infinity, that is symbol I have shown to you, and according to the concept we should remember, these rays will come parallel to the principal axis, and rest we know, if the rays will come parallel, all the rays that will come parallel to the principal axis, all will start passing through focus. So we can see all rays of light will finally converge at focus, and here we are able to get the image at focus only. That is a simple thing. So we can say at this point only we are getting the image, because all the rays will converge at focus. Okay, so that is, based on this we can talk about the characteristics of image. So first thing is clear, since the rays will actually pass through focus, so image must be real. Now here in this case, in general the image is point size. So if it is point size, so it's difficult to talk about inverted or upright, but always remember real is always inverted. So in general, if it is real it will be inverted, but it will be a point size image. So that is to be written here, image is point size. Okay, and overall where it is formed, it is forming at focus. So this is one of the characteristics we have, that we understood in the meaning of focus also. So we define the focus based on the same, and finally we are getting the image characteristic, that is, if the object is at infinity, image will form at focus, and that image will be very point size. That will be real, and means real means if you place one paper or any screen in front of the mirror at focus, you will get the sharp image of the object. So overall, if I place the screen here, so between screen and the pole, distance we know is nothing but the focal length. So this will help us in the experiment also. When we do the experiment to find out the focal length of a concave mirror, we apply this concept, that is, let the rays of light coming from some infinite distance, and place one screen in front of the concave mirror and try to get the image of the object on the screen. So if you get a very sharp image somewhere, just stop there, and then you just measure the distance between the screen and the mirror or the pole. Whatever distance will come will be nothing but the focal length of the mirror which is given to you. So this is how we can find out the focal length of a concave mirror in the practical. So that you have to remember also. Rest two cases are left, which is to be done by you, because you must try also yourself. Otherwise, you will not be able to learn it properly, understand properly. So I am giving homework, that is case 5, that is object at focus, and case 6, object at C. So you have to try two different cases yourself, making a rough diagram now. So that is F and C. So in first case, what is to be done? You place the object at focus only and complete the ray diagram. Just see what is there, what kind of image you are getting if you place at F, and then you try for C also. So place the object at C, that is separate case. Okay, don't mix it together, and again try to apply the rules that we understood, and then you will just see wherever the two rays will meet, they may not meet, they may diverge, they may converge. That you can learn only when you draw it yourself. Okay, so try it yourself. Now quickly moving to the next one, that is biconvex mirror. So for concave mirror we have total 6 cases. Out of 6 I have done 4 cases, and rest 2 to be done by you. Okay, so in general you should know for convex mirror only 2 cases we have. Why? We'll explain. So very first, object in front of convex mirror. So let's understand why. We'll just have two cases. So automatically you'll understand what I mean. Okay, so let's draw the principal axis. This is your P, and the rest thing, the focus and center of curvature will be behind the mirror, because this is your convex mirror. So that we already discussed. So this is your F and this is your C. Okay, so in general, the focus and center of curvature are basically behind the mirror, and if you place something behind the mirror, it cannot form the image, because this is a convex mirror facing this side. Okay, so in front of the mirror we don't have any focus or center of curvature. Simple. So since in front we don't have F, we don't have C, so we don't have different cases that we had in the case of concave mirror. So the only possibility we have is, the very first, we can place the object anywhere in front of the convex mirror, that is nearby somewhere, or we can have second possibility, let the object be at infinity. So only two cases will be done. I am repeating again. In the case of convex mirror, since the focus and center of curvature are behind the mirror, so we cannot place the object on focus at C, between FC, between PF, beyond C, because if you place something behind the mirror, it makes no sense, so it cannot form the image. That's why for the convex mirror we have only two cases, that is anywhere in front of the convex mirror or the object at infinity. So we'll do the same thing. Okay, so we'll place the object anywhere in front. So let this be object, and we'll apply the rule that we understood in the previous class for convex mirror also. So this is my object A and B. Okay, so A and B, AB is the object. So let's apply the rule now. So very first, a ray of light parallel to the principal axis. You know what will happen? According to the rule, this ray parallel to the principal axis will diverge from focus, that we understood in the previous class. So this is the first ray we are getting, that is diverging from focus. Okay, and second rule we can apply, that is facing F. Facing F, you remember, facing F, facing C, any rule you can apply now. So let it be facing F, and we know if the ray of light is facing F, that is seem to pass through F, what will happen to this ray? This will also become parallel. So we can say this ray will come parallel to the principal axis. So let this ray be X. Understood? That is the first ray getting reflected coming from A, which is basically seems to diverge from F. So this is the first ray parallel, seems to diverge from F. So that is X ray, that is first ray reflected from the convex mirror. Second ray is seem to passing through F. We know it cannot cross the mirror, it cannot pass through the mirror. So when it is facing F, we can say that ray must become parallel to the principal axis after reflection. So this is my ray Y. Now again, if you see X and Y, they are basically diverging. So if they are diverging, again we need to extend both the rays behind the mirror. Wherever they seem to meet, the image has to be formed. So we have to join it backward. So this is the point where it seems to meet. Okay, that is X and Y. So this must be the image of A prime, because this is coming from A, and we have to connect the same with the principal axis. Again, remember, behind the mirror everything has to be dotted. So this is my A prime, B prime. So I hope you understood. This is your image and this is your object. So A prime, B prime is the image. And now based on this image diagram, you can easily find out the characteristics. So very first, that is of the image. So image is virtual, it is understood, it is behind the mirror. You can also see image is upright, object is this way, image is also this way. That is upright or erect, we can say. And even if you compare the size of object and image is smaller. So smaller or diminished. So diminished is the word we can use for the smaller object. Okay, and behind the mirror. So form behind the mirror. So this you must try yourself at home. I have placed at some distance from the mirror. You can increase the distance, you can decrease the distance. So you can try different position in front of the mirror at different distances. But you'll see all the time you'll be getting the same ray diagram. Same ray diagram means image will remain virtual, image will remain upright, image will remain smaller, image will forming all the time behind the mirror. So in general, all the time the convex mirror forms the virtual image and smaller image, and that is also upright. Okay, that is why we always use this convex mirror as a side view mirror in the vehicle, so that in a very small space, in a small mirror, it can cover more area behind the vehicle, because since all the time it is forming smaller image or diminished image. So in a very limited size of the mirror, it can capture more objects, that is, it can form more and more images of different objects, and all the time image will remain upright also. So since it is all the time upright, so all the time image will remain upright, so that will be not difficult task for us to see the vehicle. And also it is all the time virtual, means all the time the mirror will be forming the image within itself. So we need no need to place any screen in front of the mirror to see the image. So because of this unique properties of the convex mirror, we are using it as a side view mirror, that you also remember. So that is all thing we have, and the last case we have, that is if image is object is placed in front of at infinity. So object at infinity, and that we have already understood with the help of the concept of focus, if you remember. So nothing to be done, just again draw the so this is your C, this is your F. So if the object is at infinity, again what will take the rays of light coming parallel to the principal axis, and if the ray will come parallel, it has to diverge from the focus. So this ray will diverge from focus only. So this is the first ray we got, X. We can take another ray of light again parallel to the principal axis. It also should diverge from the same focus. Simple. So behind the mirror, always remember it should be dotted. So this is my second ray, Y. Again you see they are diverging, so they cannot meet. So you understood it cannot form real image in front. So they seem to diverge at focus, and now they are forming again a point size image, and that image is virtual also because it is behind the mirror. So we can say if the object is placed at infinity, then in that case again the rays will come parallel to the principal axis, and again they will diverge from the rays will diverge from each other after reflection from the convex mirror, and these rays seem to diverge from focus only. So focus is the point where the image will be formed in this case also, but the image will be virtual in this case, and even in this case it is point size, that is to be understood. So we can say image is virtual, again point size, very small in size, and then formed at focus. Formed at focus but behind the mirror. Okay. So all the time the convex mirror is going to form the image virtual and smaller and behind the mirror, but the only thing is if you keep changing the position of the object in front of the mirror, there will be some variation in the size of image. Okay, but all the time that will remain smaller than the object. So You can try yourself by placing the object in front of the mirror at different distance, one nearby, one quite far away, and just see the image is getting smaller or bigger than the previous one, but it will always remain smaller than the object. So that is all we have today. We understood the different ray diagrams for the concave and convex mirror, and this is very important topic we have in this chapter, and you must practice each and every diagram that I have done today, and then you try the two different questions which are not done by me, and this is how you have to learn yourself. So just practice, and if you find any problem just let me know. So for today is done. Just take care, be at home. Thank you, and Hari Om.